It's your weekly video. Let's talk about what you're not allowed to know if you're on a jury. So historically, juries were allowed to know the sentence for an accused person if they were to find that person guilty. So for example, in 18th century England, the death penalty abounded on paper, but jurors would actually rarely impose it. And here's how. They would be told, if you find John guilty of stealing 40 shillings worth of goods, he will be executed. So the jury would be like, cool, got it. That seems crazy. So we're going to find him guilty of a partial verdict, of guilty of stealing 39 shillings worth of stuff, not 40, so you can't execute him. And actually the same thing was happening here in the US, except for we're so puritanical that we were finding people guilty of libidinous behavior instead of adultery. But either way, juries were not ignorant of the sentence. And so juries could serve as this crucial community check on very harsh laws. And jurors could decide, that penalty feels way too harsh for the conduct that was alleged here. So we're not going to go all the way guilty. We're going to do a partial guilty thing. And then along came the 1990s and a guy named Clarence Thomas, who on the Supreme Court ruled in a case that juries do not have the right to know what the sentence will be if they find a person guilty. We now refer to this as the rule of juror ignorance. It has given rise to horrifying outcomes. So for example, in California in the Three Strikes era, a man was accused of stealing a piece of pizza. And for the jury in his case, they think this is a no big deal case, right? It's a piece of pizza. I guess he's guilty of stealing the piece of pizza. I don't know, give him a fine or whatever. But he was sentenced to life in prison. And the jury never was told that if they were to find him guilty of stealing a piece of pizza, they would be sending him to prison for life. This rule is still the case, leaving juries with little recourse if they are worried that a verdict of guilty might result in a punishment that they themselves would reject. No options, I guess, except for jury nullification, which we will do another video on another time.